What up? Zach Bradshaw, long-winded guy. Back with another Trading Journal video. I'll probably make another one after this that's goes over the things that happened before this. But right now, Bitcoin is trading in a range, and I just wanted to capture this and really take a look at um, or record and get my thoughts on this down on paper or down on film. For later and for whoever I try to teach about this. So. Looking at the 4 hour chart here, if I zoom this out a little bit so we can understand the full context of where we're at, Bitcoin ran up to 40K, came down to 30K, nice little correction, and now it's in the middle of this bounce. And it looks like it may want to come back down and form something like a wedge or an ascending triangle or whatever. So I want to get down here into the lower time frames, like the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and see what my levels are. So it's pretty easy to go ahead and throw this level up here. It's pretty obvious. Maybe you could make a little double level right there, but I'm just going to do a single. Then on the bottom side, you could probably do another little double level just like this, and I will actually keep this one because I think it's a little bit more relevant than the other one. Then back on the top side, I'll probably throw in, oh, I'm good to go. Throw in one right here, and maybe this one has a little bit of range. It could have been a little bit lower, could have been a little bit higher. And then maybe you could throw in another one in this area. I don't like any of these. I don't think they'd be strong enough, though. If this thing came back down here, it could just bounce off a 32.5. So this one is a tentative level, and maybe I will just make this one look a little bit skinnier. But then we have another level that I would expect to hold right here at about 34. So for my money, and obviously I'm not a financial advisor, so take my horrible trading advice at your own risk. But let me get out of this. Let me move this thing over here and do this. But I'm expecting Bitcoin to do one of a couple of different things here. And you see I have a buy order in right here if it comes down this low for me to grab a little piece. If it comes down lower, I'll be paying attention to potentially grab other pieces. And I'll actually take this off now that I'm like awake, right? That was like an overnight thing. In case this thing came down, it looks like it's trying to come down now. And really, I mean, I could throw in a level right here too, right? And that's kind of where I'm hoping there's a bounce as this comes back down. But as this thing plays out, it can do a bunch of different things here. So it's forming some sort of wedge or triangle or something. And it could come down here and go up, maybe even find a smaller range and then make its decision whether it's going to go up or down. Or it could go ahead and come down here, come up here, maybe find another level, come back down here, find another level until it finally reaches its decision point. So it can play off of these, in a number of different ways. It could even form an ascending triangle by, let's say, coming down here, coming up to here, coming down to this one again, coming up here, and then we would have an ascending triangle, which if I grab my trend lines, I can show you real quick. Right, we might form something like this, and obviously it hasn't happened yet, so you don't want to trade based on it. And so I'm just drawing in some BS lines. But this is one way that this might pan out. It may also pan out. Come here. Whoa, what is happening? It could also create a wedge, right? It could also do like this and reach some other decision point. And maybe these lines, would shift over time. There's no pattern here yet, right? You don't draw in patterns you don't do what I'm doing. You don't draw in patterns before they formed or try to make decisions off of them. But when something's in a range where, okay, this thing isn't gonna once it breaks below 30, it's going to tumble down, or once it breaks above 40, it's going to tumble up. We don't know which way it's going to go. We're not Miss Cleo. We're not trying to predict the markets. What we're trying to do is establish probabilities and then make decisions based on those probabilities. And you don't always win, but if you have a the right strategy and rules in place for yourself, then you can, consistently win, 60%, 70%, 80%, depending on what types of trades you are making. And so here I am. Let me get in here and show you some of my trades. Don't mind this. Again, I need to make a video about this. I accidentally fat fingered my way out of the market. Meant to sell. Where is this sell? Okay, we'll get to that later. I don't know why I can't find it. Okay, so this order right here, I was supposed to sell 0.005, and I sold 0.05, which is everything I had at that moment. That was all the Bitcoin I had left in this account. So I sold. I was trying to sell 10% of what I actually sold, and it wasn't a good time just to jump back in, especially because I ate this $9 fee, and it has had potential to go back down. I missed my rebuys at 32, so this is just horrible. But since I fat fingered my way out, and I've started to buy back in, my first buy-ins, and really my zone here, my first largest buy-in was at 34.2. Okay, and I should have made this maybe a little bit earlier so that it would be more fresh on my mind and maybe a little bit more accurate. I might not describe exactly what happened here perfectly, but this thing came down, and somewhere in here I sold in the wrong place, and then went to go buy it at a similar price point, but I didn't get all the way back in, even though I'd gotten all the way out. I didn't get all the way back in because I wasn't sure, whether this is going to go ahead and continue from here. Again, the chart would have, at the times I'm doing this, the chart would have looked like this, right? So I bought some. I failed to sell this bounce here because I was expecting it to go all the way to 34. So as it came back down, I still didn't get my bars at 32,000, but I was able to add a little bit more again at 34, a little bit lower and a little bit higher. I did not, because I was so underexposed, I did not want to play this and sell this move. But I've been intending to sell 38 or 39, for a pullback as this, just because I expect this, this big massive range here. I just expected it to play out longer than a couple of days. I didn't expect this to be the buy to go to the moon. I expected it to go up, come down, make some decisions, and I'm not sure whether it's going to come up or come down. I think I probably leave 70%, 75% that it goes above 42 before it goes below 29. But I ain't Miss Cleo. I'm just trying to lay in my probabilities so I can make the decisions based off of them. So I did end up getting my sells here, and I didn't sell. I would have sold more of this out if I hadn't have sold all the way out of my position. But I did sell out all the way out of my position, so I kept some of it. But what I was able to do is buy in the 34s, let's say 34 and a half, and sell. I sold one at 36. That was not here, 36. That was on this area here, 36, or maybe in this candle. 36.8, and then again higher, where you see that this one is, because the fee is largest, you can tell that this is the most that I sold out of these amounts, right? So this was the largest chunk that I sold was at 39.3. It continued, went up, got a little bit closer, tapped 40,000, but then it started to pull back. As I woke up, part of the reason I went to, well, I won't say as I woke up, this was happening, but I didn't have time to, I had to make my coffee and do other stuff, and maybe, I was awake. Maybe I could have bought on this dip here, but I actually think, right, I don't really have a level here, and maybe I could have, maybe this is a level that I should be looking at somewhere in here, but nah, it's not my kind of level. So I could have maybe bought a very small percentage here, a very small amount compared to the rest of my stack, but I'm waiting a little bit further to buy a small amount here, and this may not hold at all. This may be irrelevant for the time being or whatever, and this thing may I will have a small buy here, but I will keep powder drop so that I'm able to buy in this level or this level if we have a if it continues down and we end up getting a bounce in here. And maybe I put this. I mean, this range in here is pretty wide and not well defined, so I would probably end up breaking my buys into pieces, have a very small buy around this line to play a little bounce, because I mean, it could even do something like, oops, this, right? And I would, because I still think this probably has some time here, like I'm buying here because this could be a really steep ascending triangle that's forming right here, and we could be on blast off mode right after this. But I would sell, consider selling some in here because there's a decent little position percentage to be played, at least 5%, up to 10% to be played before this would come back down and maybe make another decision. Or it could go ahead and break through that line, in which case I'd probably keep it for a breakout above 42,000, depending on how things looked, right? There's a lot of factors. I'm not even pulling up any indicators on this to show you any other levels. I'm just going straight off of the price action, and sorry about that. Just going straight, just going based only off of price action, and what it seems like is going to happen right now, because this has a range that needs to play out. Let me get rid of this in case this thing comes back down. But there's several more percentages to be made in here, and that's why I'm making this video, to show you the value of range trading, right? I think this thing's going to 100,000 or 200,000. It ain't doing that today though. So as it has this 25% range here, or is this 30% range? Yeah, this is a third range here. So as this has a 30% range here, there's plenty of percentage moves to be played. So, somebody made this buy in here and sold up here, right? Maybe the same person didn't do that, but even if they bought here and they sold anywhere above this line, I mean, they're in the 20% area, right? Then it's gone up. So we could just say from here to here, that's a 20% move. It comes back down. You're able to buy this dip, maybe. Here's another over 20% move. And then depending on where it comes back down for this one, this could also even just play in this range for about a 10% move, or it could go, break out above that, and then you've got this buy in here. So I'll be layering positions here. I'll be layering in positions here. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not just do whatever trades I'm doing, because I'm getting in by percentage and it's complicated, and I have my own investing trading goals that are not the same as yours. So that's it for this one. Let me know if you have any questions, Tucker, or anybody else that might watch this video. And that's it. Peace.